Winning Blueprint presents.
Welcome. You are in the lab room. I'm your host, Luke. Thank you for joining me. It's Thursday, and again, another slow day news-wise in the National Football League as we continue to approach free agency now, right around 5 days away from free agency and counting. The Chiefs have been very dominant in the headlines in this offseason. They first go out and get Andy Reid. John Dorsey is named their GM. They're making moves, traded for Alex Smith, reached a long-term agreement with Dwayne Bowe, slapped the franchise tag on Brendan Albert, and yesterday they released Eric Winston in a surprise move. Not many people saw them doing that, and what that move says to me is that they're going to go after the tackle out of Texas A&M, Luke Joeckel. And for a minute there, I was at an impasse as to what the Chiefs were going to do with that number one overall selection, because they re-signed Bowe. They got their quarterback in Alex Smith via trade. You slap the franchise tag on Brendan Albert, so you don't need a tackle anymore. Eric Winston's on one side, Brendan Albert's on the other. So where do you go if you're the Chiefs? The Chiefs cannot draft another defensive lineman in the first round. They can't do it. They've had too many drafts where they've spent a first-round pick on a defensive lineman. We're going all the way back to Dorsey. They can't do it. Tyson Jackson, Dorsey, Dontari Poe. They can't spend another first-round pick on a defensive lineman. They just can't do it. So the thinking is, what would they draft? They answered that question yesterday with the release of Eric Winston. They're going to draft the tackle. Now, will it be Fisher out of Central Michigan? Will it be Joeckel out of Texas A&M? That remains to be seen. Right now, the consensus is Luke Joeckel, and I tend to lean that way as well. But there's a lot of time between now and the draft, and so things can change. It's a fluid situation. But one thing's for sure, the Chiefs made it clear that they're going to take a tackle by releasing Eric Winston yesterday. And a lot of different things have stemmed from that release. Eric Winston is released, and quickly his phone starts to ring. There are teams that are interested. The Texans, the team that released him last offseason, they would like to have him back in the fold in Houston. Philadelphia, the Eagles, have come calling as well. And so there's interest there. I, being a Redskins fan, I wanted Eric Winston so bad when he was released by the Texans last year. That was a surprise move, him being released. And had we not taken that $18 million cap hit, I think he would be a Washington Redskin right now. And I still feel the same way. I still would like to get Eric Winston, but the Redskins don't have any money. And so there's teams out there that would love the services of Eric Winston. And so he will be off the market very quickly, I think. Looking at another scenario and another storyline that really stems from this move, Brendan Albert got rid of his Twitter account because someone asked him, hey, how do you feel about playing right tackle if the Chiefs were to select a guy like Luke Joeckel with the first overall selection in the draft? You don't draft a tackle with the number one overall pick and put him at right tackle. Maybe for a year, but most times than not, you draft a guy number one overall, number two, it's a left tackle, and he's going to left tackle right away. You don't draft a guy that high in the draft just to put him at right tackle. You don't do that. So Brendan Albert was asked, hey, how do you feel about playing right tackle? Nope. He's really blunt. Nope. He said, so you want to stay on the left side? You damn right. That's what he said. That was his exact words. You damn right. So he's pretty blunt in his assessment of how he feels about moving. And so the Chiefs might have another bridge to cross when they get it. And look, if the Chiefs tell him, look, you're our right tackle now, he's not going to have a choice. He's going to have to move to right tackle. But we know how he feels, and he let it be known, look, I don't want to play right tackle. I am a left tackle, and there's a reason why he doesn't want to play right tackle. He hasn't signed a long-term deal. And so the perception is, if I'm a right tackle and you project that to other teams around the league, you bring my value down from here to down here. Look, there's a huge difference from a right tackle and a left tackle in terms of pay. We're talking about a difference in about $5 to $7 million per year playing left and right tackle. That's a whole different pay grade. And so I see where he's coming from. A little bit of it is ego, because the right tackle position is one that is a ho-hum position. Oh, we'll get a right tackle. Left tackle is one of the premier positions in the National Football League. You don't spend a number one pick on just any position. You only spend a number one overall selection on a few positions in the National Football League. Defensive end or a rush outside linebacker, a quarterback, or a left tackle. Those are maybe a few of the positions that you'll see a number one prospect come out of. Maybe a wide receiver if he's a Calvin Johnson type player. But it's rare for a receiver or one of those skill guys to be number one overall. It's normally a quarterback, a left tackle, or a outside linebacker or a defensive end or a defensive tackle, someone of that nature. And so there's a little bit of ego involved there with Brendan Albert. He feels like, hey, I am the man. I can get it done at left tackle. This guy isn't better than me. I can prove it. And so that could be a problem for the Chiefs moving forward. But again, they franchise tagged Brendan Albert. They did not sign him to a long-term deal. And so if this is going to be a problem in the future, they'll just let him play in 2013 and then they'll let him walk in 2014. And so we'll see how this situation works itself out. But again, Chiefs making a lot of moves, and they're clearing up a lot of the cloudy and murkiness that is at the top of the draft in terms of what they're going to do with that number one overall selection. Want to take care of some quick business before I forget. And another one of these undervalued positions that we don't give enough credit to, often overlooked, the kicker position. Rob Bironas, the ex-kicker of the Tennessee Titans, or I won't say ex because he was never released, is back with the Tennessee Titans. They re-signed him today, and so he won't hit the free agent market. Rob Bironas is a very solid kicker, has a big leg, has been very consistent for the Tennessee Titans over the last 5 or 6 seasons, and so it's a good move for the Titans to re-sign Bironas. And he may have been there even longer. It just seems like he's been getting it done in Tennessee for a long time now. He's got a big leg, and if you have a good kicker, no need to let him walk away. Re-sign him. The last thing you want to do is be one of these franchises that has to worry about their kicking situation every single year, year in, year out, like the Redskins, like some of these teams around the league who never have a consistent kicking situation. The Titans have had no worries in that department as Rob Bironas has taken care of them over the years, and so they repaid him by re-signing him today. Good move by the Titans. And again, this is one of those positions that really goes unnoticed. They're the unsung heroes. You need a good kicker. There's nothing worse than having a chance to win a game and losing it because your kicker can't get it done. And so kickers are a position that don't get enough credit, but they matter a heck of a lot in the grand scheme of things in the National Football League, and Rob Bironas is back with the Tennessee Titans. Looking at a huge story, and this one isn't as big as it could have been, but nonetheless, Steven Jackson voided the last year of his deal in St. Louis, making himself a free agent. And he did it with perfect timing because he gets a jump on the rest of the free agent crop because he's no longer a member of the St. Louis Rams organization. So he can start talking to teams freely right now. And so him voiding the last year of his deal means that he's looking for an opportunity to win. And I can't really blame him. The grass isn't always greener on the other side, but the grass was never green for Steven Jackson in St. Louis. It's always been brown. And so he just wants to see green grass for the first time in his life. Much like people who live in the South who've never seen snow, they just want to see snow. He just wants to see green grass. He just wants to see a winning program. He just wants to see the postseason. Just once. And so he's going to get an opportunity to help someone's football team. I think he still has a little bit left in the tank. He's a guy that's been a workhorse for the Rams over the years, and I don't know how much of a pounding he can take. But I tell you what, he can add value to someone's roster. And he needs to go somewhere where there's already a nucleus and an already set foundation in place where there's no doubt that this team is going to win. You can't go somewhere like a Philadelphia if you're Steven Jackson, because the threat of losing is always looming in places like Philadelphia, especially when you got a new head coach and you really don't know what to expect. New system in place. That thing could be a train wreck in Philadelphia. It could be a 12-4 situation. It could be a 4-12 situation in Philadelphia. He needs to go somewhere that's used to winning, that wins year in, year out, and he knows, hey, if I join this team, we'll be in the postseason, whether I'm here or not. He needs to go somewhere like that. Somewhere like in Atlanta. Somewhere like a Pittsburgh, where you know this team is going to compete and probably be in the discussion come the end of the season in terms of playoffs and even Super Bowl talk. So he needs to go somewhere where he'll get a chance to win, not a place where they're looking to establish themselves as a winner. And so Steven Jackson is no longer a St. Louis Ram, and can't say we didn't see this one coming, but we'll see what he has left to give, to offer to another team, and we'll see what teams are suitors in the Steven Jackson market. That's a touchdown. Go ahead, throw it up. Want to tack on this quick extra point. So we're done now with the 5-minute or less series. That was a success. Went very well. A lot of you enjoyed that. I enjoyed doing it. And so we're done with the 2012 season now. That was the last segment that I'm going to put together that's going to address the 2012 season. We're moving on now. We're into the 2013 offseason. We're into free agency. We're into the draft. We're into forward thinking now. No more moving backwards. We're only going to use 2012 as a reference point now. No longer are we going to be harping over what occurred in the 2012 season. And so I'm ready to move on. Now I'm going to delve deep into free agency. It's going to be fast and, again, furious, because it is going to be here before you know it. And so there will be content coming at you in very rapid fire fashion. And so I'm going to let you know it's going to be coming quick, and it's going to be coming very, very rapidly. So keep your eyes peeled. There'll be shows all over the place. It'll be team specific. It'll also have shows that are specific to certain topics that I bring up. So, pick and choose. Again, I know you all out there are fans of your team, and a lot of times you could care less about other teams. And I get that. And so I'm going to make sure that I make it specific to teams all around the National Football League so that you get what you're looking for. And if you want to look at other teams, by all means, I encourage you to do so. But if you just want what you want, and that's your team and nothing else, this is the place for that as well. So look out for that. I thank you for joining me here in the lab room today. Many ways to view or contact the show. There's Facebook. In the lab room is the Facebook page. Like the page. Every episode I've ever done has been uploaded to Facebook, so check that out. There's Twitter. At In the Lab Room is the Twitter handle. Follow me on Twitter. There's YouTube. Louis T is the page on YouTube. Subscribe if you haven't already done so. Subscribe to the page. Again, a lot of content is coming out of my channel, and so don't want you to miss anything. I want to keep you abreast of what's going on in the National Football League, and this is the place to do it. So subscribe to the page if you haven't already done so. And also, in the lab room at gmail.com is the inbox. You want to directly come and chat with me, please, by all means do so. That's the way to do it. In the lab room at gmail.com is the inbox. I thank you for joining me here today on the program. Keep your eyes peeled for free agency talk. Want to see you back here, same time, same place. And as always, have a good one. Take care. I'll see you here tomorrow. Keep your eyes peeled for free agency talk here in the lab room.